I catch a lot of, I would say, unfair back talk from you guys for reviewing only expensive guns on this channel. And look, I hear you, but you're wrong. Personally, I'm only like middle high end of the gun snob spectrum. My favorite pistols, of course, Glocks. I wouldn't call those expensive. Yeah, I like HK. Yeah, I like Beretta. I like B&T. I like SIG, but I wouldn't call any of those ridiculously priced either. But you know what is ridiculously priced? What's obscenely expensive? 2011s, any of them. I just reviewed the Jacob Gray Knox 9 couple days ago. A lot of you, I think, saw that video. That gun's 5,800 bucks. And as far as those competition 2011s go, it's one of the cheaper ones. You're going to pay more for a Nighthawk or an Atlas or an Infinity or a Phoenix Trinity. Get entities nuts because I ain't spending around 10 grand to buy a 2011, like a gun based on a over century old design. 2011. Yeah, the very top end 2011s, they're approaching 10 grand. Some of them exceed it. There's only a couple 2011s I've reviewed that haven't had a malfunction. I'm not going to hang my reputation on this statement or anything, but I've been actively working in the gun industry for over half my life. I just think that the 1911 linked barrel design is inherently less reliable than Browning short action designs used in Glock SIGs, M&Ps, other modern pistols. If you're buying a 2011 to be a high-end, highly tuned competition pistol, you probably aren't going to care very much. If anything, it comes with the territory. You're going to figure out what ammo works with your gun. You're going to keep it tuned, cleaned, lubed, and you're not going to literally die if you have a malfunction. Yeah, there are some people who insist on carrying 1911s and 2011s as defensive pistols, and they've never had a problem with them because no one's shot up any of the wine mixers, polo matches, or nutcracker performances that 2011 guys go to. But what about those of you who want a high capacity, light recoiling pistol with that oh so crisp 1911 style single action trigger, 1911 style ergonomics and controls, accurate, but you just moved back with your parents because AI took your job as a lawyer? Probably going to be me in the next 4 or 5 years, so I'm going to try to not talk too much shit here. Maybe it's a good idea if I look into more budget 2011 options myself. So today I'm reviewing what I'll say is probably the cheapest match style 2011 on the market, the Girsan Witness 2311S Match. Today, all of you get to witness what a massive piece of shit this is. I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I give Turkish guns a hard time, but it's really easy to do because they're usually unreliable, poorly made $90 12 gauge shit sticks. Pistol market much more stable in Turkey than shotguns. TSOS makes some good Turkish handguns. So does SAR and Canik. But what about Girsan, imported by EAA? Girsan's been in the business since 1993, best known probably for its Beretta 92 clones. Its cheapest single-stack 1911s are actually in the mid $400 range. MSRP on this gun, $1,079. MAP, or minimum advertised pricing, is $990. You could probably find it for a little less, but even that's expensive for my country club membership having asked for a handgun. As far as 2011s go, there aren't many cheaper. Will Girsan be able to get its target audience to give up Winston's for a month and maybe withhold enough child support checks to buy this pistol when the Springfield Prodigy is only about 300, 400 bucks more expensive? Welcome to my cheapest expensive gun review, or is it my most expensive cheap gun review? I don't know, but I wouldn't call this cheap. I would call it cheapest. Let's go over the basics first. This is a 2011. It's 2011 if you haven't heard of it. Uses the same link-barreled system controls, single-action trigger from the 1911. This one, ambi safety, I should note. If you look at it from about 15 feet away, it's really hard to distinguish this gun from more expensive combat-style 2011s. It's got great front and rear slide serrations, beveled ejection port, full rail dust cover, traditional 1911 match-style sights. The rear sight holds a little surprise. It can be removed, and you can put Shield RMSc footprint optics like the 407K from Holosun mounted directly into the slide without a plate. So far so good, and it gets better. 5-inch bull barrel that's flared at the muzzle to get a tight fit against the slide without using a barrel bushing. It has an extended beaver tail grip safety, and the grip is pretty comfy, even though unfortunately it uses a polymer grip module. This is not an all-metal gun. I have mixed feelings about polymer grip modules on 2011s. I think for carry guns, great. But for match style guns like this, I guess the only reason I could think to use a polymer grip module is to maybe save a few bucks if it does that. I don't know. You want additional weight so you can go faster while maintaining control. I want to see steel down here. Even so, checkering here is pretty good. Traditional diamond checkering on the side panels, front strap and back strap have the typical spiky checkerboard that you're used to. It's got a generous removable flared magazine well that works great, despite plastic feeling kind of cheap. And I don't know how much abuse a Turkish polymer grip module can take. This is actually a pretty comfortable gun to hold in my opinion, and to shoot of course. Just the right amount of grip, pretty good ergos. Girsan says this gun has a 4.5-pound trigger pull, and that is accurate. It comes with a very nice Pelican style case, a flush fit 17-round magazine, and an extended 20-round magazine. These are actually Checkmate magazines, a welcome surprise. Checkmate is a well-known, respected 2011 mag manufacturer, and their magazines run about 65 bucks each. Gun has an overall length of 8.75 inches, 6.1 inches tall, 1.3 inches thick at the grip, and it weighs 41 ounces. Surprisingly, just about as heavy as the Jacob Gray Nox 9 that I just reviewed, which is an all-metal gun. And of course, it's 9mm. It takes standard 2011 Staccato / Prodigy pattern magazines. So how does it shoot? Well, when it runs... Oh! Oh, look at it. 2011 is going to just do 2011 things. All right, so let's keep an eye on that. I mean, shoots okay. You know, I'm just not a 2011 guy. I mean, okay. You know, about 20 rounds in there. Okay.
Legit, watch the fucking ejection. You had empty casings being pushed forward. Like they were not getting flipped to the side at all. They were literally coming straight up and getting pushed forward by the slide.
The big question everyone's got is the trigger. If you're expecting this trigger to be like the Jacob Gray or Staccato or even the SIG P211, you're going to be sorely disappointed. But that's not to say this is a bad trigger. It feels like an above average 1911 trigger. 4.5 pounds, little bit of take up, pretty clean break. Not going to make any of the senior citizens from your Corvette Owners Club O-face or anything when they shoot it, but you're definitely going to be able to get some work done with it. In fact, we all shot it pretty well at the Neutral Ground Gun Company.
2011, you know, it's nice, stays flat. Trigger's fine.
It's fine. Unfortunately, when we got it out of the box, we had our fair share of stoppages. I'm not saying that it was every magazine, at least when it was right out of the box, but I think Ernest Hemingway was a more trustworthy and faithful husband than this was a trustworthy and faithful gun.
Whoa.
There it is. There it is. Dude,
how does that work?
I'm telling you, this is what I don't like about 2011.
So there's a stovepipe.
Like a weird
reverse stovepipe, but there's a live round in the chamber.
No, there's not. Holy shit, yeah, there is. So that's kind of weird.
How does that even happen?
How does that even happen? It's like it loaded, it didn't eject, but it somehow loaded. You think that worked? I think it did.
I think so.
I think you're hot. Hey. There we go again. Well, let's, you know, it looks like it might be lubed up already, right? That's grease. That's like grease. So, yeah, you know what? Let's go and throw some lube on it so no one gets mad at me about it. And let's come back out here and see what happens. To be fair, while the gun was pretty greased up when we got it, we hadn't cleaned it, we hadn't lubed it, we just took it out of the box and we started shooting the Witness. So we take it to the back office. After a few hundred rounds, we put it through the James J. Reeves Witness lubrication program, get it nice and wet. What happened next will shock you. Another one. Another one. Nope. Yeah, I was kidding about that. You probably weren't surprised at all. We still had failures. I will say they became less frequent, and I will also say the last 100, 120 rounds or so, no malfunctions whatsoever. I will say the ejection looks a little bit more spirited this time. I mean, it is like they're actually coming this way. They're moving like a couple of feet. See, now we're actually running it. Like now it's working without any stovepipes like the past 4 magazines, oddly enough. These guns are not oiled up tits on glass smooth like the guns I'm used to that are 3 times as expensive and higher, so I would anticipate that these might break in nicely. So it's funny, it did kind of run all those, the last 6 magazines, we didn't have any malfunctions. I also checked some other blog reviews of this gun online when I got home, and I found that even some of the most forgiving publications mentioned that they had stoppages that eventually stopped stoppaging after break-in. 2011 is going to 2011, what you going to do? We put about 6 to 8 boxes through it at the range, and even in that short time, it got better to shoot and more reliable. 2 big questions. Would I buy this gun? Should you buy this gun? Me, I would not, but that's because I have no interest in owning a competition or a match style 2011. But even if I did, I'd probably pass on this one too. You can step up from this to the Springfield Prodigy for only about an extra $300 maybe, but that's still 30 to 40% more expensive. Normally I would say my go-to for 2011s would be BUL Armory. That's the only 2011 I own right now. I think dollar for dollar, some of the best out there, but unfortunately, it seems like the prices have been rising as people recognize this. I believe the cheapest BUL at this point is like $1,850. I swear to God, I think you could get them for less than $1,500. But that's almost twice the price of this Girsan. For just a little bit more than the BUL, the SIG P211, I think is going to be a smash hit at about $2,400, I want to say. Now, should you buy this gun? If even $1,000 is a stretch for you, $900 or whatever, and you really want a 2011 real bad, I'm not telling you to not buy this gun. I'm telling you I would rather spend anywhere between 30, 40 to 150% more to get a better gun. But if you're in love with the 2011 concept, you want to make this thing work, it's all you can afford, something tells me a little break-in, maybe a little tinkering will get this gun to be reliable and probably a great shooter. I personally wouldn't bother, but for one of the cheapest guns in its class, it actually feels pretty well made and has a lot of great features, including optics compatibility, this full dust cover with rail. They make a ported version for a few bucks more. For $1,000-ish, I'd probably look at getting a Canic pistol instead, one of the high-end Canics, but a Canic's not a 2011, is it? And if you're watching this video, that's probably what you're after, a freaky, fat-ass, double stack 1911, aren't you, you sick son of a Browning? I'm going to say it one more time. I think for being one of the cheapest match type 2011s you can get, not bad. And it might even be a Nighthawk in the rough. Okay, well, maybe not that. But it does seem like if you flick this thing's dingus enough and you smooth out some of these rough surfaces, you could end up with a decent 2011, I think. And the good news is that you've got a manufacturer that's been in the business for over 3 decades. You've got the guys at EAA, they're in Florida, they can back you up if there's anything that goes wrong. You don't have to worry about Girsan or EAA shutting down overnight and leaving you with a busted ass gun. That, my friends, is my review of the Girsan 2311 match. If you're gonna roll the dice, at least bring the lube. I'm James Reeves. See you next time. Think about supporting us. Subscribestar.com/TFBTV. We rely upon you. I did not get paid by Girsan or EAA to make this video. I did it of my own accord. And the reason why I got to do this is because you guys support us at subscribestar.com/TFBTV, where we give away over $2,000 worth of prizes every single month from 511 Top Gun Supply and Blue Alpha. But I just thank you for watching. Take care.